Not sure how to grow your financial practice? By the end of this video, you'll know the 3 keys top advisors use to boost their business. For the best advice on how to grow your financial business, subscribe to our channel. Hit that little bell down there to be notified each and every Friday when we upload a brand new video. If you're new to our channel, my name's Anthony Anderson, one of the co-founders of Elite Resource Team. Thank you for being here. We've trained over 1,000 financial advisors and insurance agents all across North America how to build more profitable and more enjoyable businesses. So with that said, let's jump into this. How do the top advisors boost their business, and how do we know this? For the last 5 years, we've spoken on average to 60 financial advisors a week. That's a 1-hour consultation with 60 advisors. You do the math, that's roughly 240 or so a month. That's nearly 3,000 a year. So there are 3 key things that all of the top advisors from our experience have in common. What are they? The first thing, they avoid being a commodity. They avoid being a commodity. So what is a commodity? A commodity is something you can buy easily on the marketplace, and you're looking at things like, what does this cost? You know, what's the delivery time? What's the service? Those are all things that are really a commoditized benefit. So how does that apply to being a financial advisor? If you are using as any of your value proposition your price or your fees, your products, the company you're with, or any type of service, like we have great customer service. Those are, unfortunately, all signs that you're probably competing as a commodity. What do top advisors do? They really kind of separate this, and this just becomes an assume. You know, this is an assumption that clients are getting a fair price, you're with a good company, you have great products, you have great service, of course. But what are they competing on? A process, and specifically developing a unique value proposition. A unique value proposition. So what's an example of a unique value proposition, and how do you describe this to a potential client or to your client compared to selling them a product? I'll give you a couple examples. So let's use the example of a financial advisor maybe that works with small business owners. And we're talking about qualified plans here. So an inexperienced advisor might say something like, setting up a qualified plan will save you $21,000 in taxes. See, what that advisor is actually doing is they're giving away the answer, and really they're limiting their value because they just gave it away. A top advisor would describe a process that the client gets to experience. So let me give you an example of what that means. If we decide to work together, we'll go through a comprehensive process looking at mitigating your business risks, eliminating unnecessary expenses, and setting up retirement and insurance structures to make sure that you're bringing the most home possible. However, just from our brief conversation so far, I know I can increase your bottom line by at least $21,000. See, so again, that's a process that the client gets to go through with you. You're not giving away your answer. You're not saying, if we set up a qualified plan, blah, 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 and you're also leaving the door open for more comprehensive planning as well. So that's the example of an advisor speaking to a small business owner. Let's use the example of an advisor speaking to an accountant. Maybe somebody who's trying to sell as a commodity is talking about a product or the amount of money that the CEP is going to generate. So they might say something like, you know, we can refer clients to each other and I can pay you a referral fee. What that advisor is missing is the fact that most accountants actually don't need more clients. They already get referrals from dozens of other professionals, and a lot of accountants, unfortunately, are uncomfortable getting a referral fee. So another way to approach that would be to describe the process that you're going to take an accountant through and how it actually benefits their clients. So look at this example. If we decide to work together, we'll be able to offer significantly more value to your clients by providing a more proactive and comprehensive planning. As a result, we'll increase your firm's revenue per client without dramatically increasing your workload. So again, no products, we're explaining a process that can actually help their clients and generate more revenue for the firm, but do so in a way that doesn't really add a whole lot of work to their already busy schedule. So how do you know right now if you're really competing on products or if you've been able to create a unique value proposition for your clients? Here's a good way to think about it. Let's say your best client is at a barbecue over the weekend with their friends and family members, and the conversation comes up. Tell me a little bit about your work with you. How is your client going to describe that to their friends or family members? And probably most importantly, the response that their friends or family members have, is it, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's what my financial advisor does too. Hey, good job, kudos. However, there's nothing unique about that. What you want them to say in response to your client describing your process and your relationship with them is something more like, wow, really? Huh, that's pretty neat. I've actually never heard of that, right? So you've been able to separate yourself. You are no longer a commodity, and you've helped your clients, your best clients, go through your unique value proposition. Number 2, top advisors have a niche. Top advisors have established a niche for themselves. When we get on the phone with a new potential advisor and we ask them to describe a little bit about your current practices, what services do you offer, what kind of clients do you work with? If they start saying, well, I manage, $7 million of assets and I do some financial plans, I sell $1 million or $2 million of annuities a year, I do a little bit of life insurance as well, what else do? I help clients with retirement planning, I do some college planning. Once in a while I help them with long-term care and maybe some health benefits review. It's like the more they add to that list, the more I just have this vision of somebody on a unicycle trying to juggle. Like, what are we in the circus? How do you do a dozen plus things for all of these clients? So ironically, what the advisors that are making more have figured out is it's about doing less, not more, but doing less for your ideal niche. So I'm not going to be doing a dozen different things. Now, I'm going to focus on maybe 1 or 2 core areas of expertise, and then I'm going to have a team of professionals. So if my clients need X, Y, or Z, I have somebody I can bring in to help them with that. I'm not putting my head in the sand and ignoring it, but me, myself, I'm not the one that's going to be doing a dozen different things. So it's about doing less, not more, by focusing on a niche. And what you want to do is really fine-tune your unique value proposition to your niche. So let me give you an example of what I mean by this. An advisor that doesn't have a niche, maybe that's a kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, is going to use a very broad term when they're asked, what do you do for a living? They're going to say something like, I am, or I do, or I own, right? I am a financial advisor. I do retirement planning. I own a financial services practice. So that's an I do, I am, I own. You want to get away from those. What you want to do is really establish, this is the way I like thinking about an elevator pitch. I help blank by blank. And this is how you can tell somebody's really thought through their niche and also their unique value proposition. Now, you can use this for your own niche and your own value prop, but let me just give you an example in case it's helpful. Since 2009, I've been almost exclusively focused on CPAs, right? CPAs and accountants. And so for me, it looks like I help CPAs by allowing them to deliver more proactive and holistic planning to their clients. It's a little bit long for me to write out there, right there, but you get the idea. Rather than I am a financial advisor, when I get asked what do, I help CPAs by allowing them to deliver more proactive and holistic planning to their best clients. Now, naturally, the question that should come up about that is, interesting, tell me more. Because I've specified my niche, clearly you know that, CPAs. I've explained my unique value proposition, which is becoming more proactive and holistic with my best clients. And now the question isn't, oh, I see you're a financial advisor like Jane and Sally, who I met at last week's networking event. No, instead, now the question is, interesting, I don't know that I've ever met somebody that describes what they do like that. Can you tell me more, right? So when we talk about niches, there's kind of two ways we can break down the niche. The first way, I'm just going to write over here, is by looking at somebody's interests, someone's hobbies, or even someone's career. So you could say my niche is professional athletes. My niche is yoga studio owners. My niche is, go down the list, small tech startups. Historically, when financial advisors, insurance agents have thought about growing a niche, they've unfortunately focused on, okay, who makes money? Doctors and dentists, that's going to be my niche. That's the wrong way to think about a niche. How do you establish a niche? It should be, what are you interested in? Who do you like being around? What do you enjoy learning more about? Because you don't want to have 24 different niches. You want to really go deep on a specific niche. So if you don't like being around engineers, don't make engineers your niche. However, if you're wired like an engineer, maybe you're married to an engineer, great niche. You want to learn more, you want to be in that community, you want to get known for that, then that's a great place to focus. So again, one is interests, and then the other is, we'll say, strategic partners. So another way that you see people developing niche, much like I described with myself, is by finding a specific strategic partner that you can get to really understand a lot about their industry and form a win-win relationship. So this could be business bankers, this could be business brokers, this could be, what else do we have? Business attorneys, right? Estate planning attorneys, or CPAs, accountants. So those are strategic partners that you're investing time learning about, developing relationships with, perhaps participating in podcasts or contributing to articles in their industry. So again, interests, hobbies, I work with athletes, farmers, microbreweries are big in San Diego. That could be a niche. I live in Napa. You could focus on wineries, or I focus on estate plan attorneys, I focus on CPAs, etc. Either way, having a niche allows you to become the go-to professional in that community where you start to really get known and respected. Okay? So that's the second. Again, first, avoid being a commodity. Second, have a niche. And third, they've figured out a way to end their addiction to expensive marketing. Our industry is really addicted to expensive marketing. And it's unfortunate because what happens is a lot of people who should be business owners really kind of just get stuck on this hamster wheel where they unfortunately end up having to sell products to continue to pay their marketing addiction. So there's two types of marketing I want to talk about as we're going through this. One is paid marketing, right? And the second is organic marketing. Paid marketing, you can think of those. That's like doing dinner seminars. That's buying cold leads. That's doing radio programs. Paid marketing is where we're paying to create some type of interest. Organic marketing, that's referrals from clients. Organic marketing, that's contributing to news articles or participating in podcasts, doing YouTube videos, forming strategic relationships that are consistently feeding you with new introductions. That's organic. We're not paying for that. There's pros and cons to each, right? So paid is fast. I could buy a cold lead right now, probably meet with them within the next 3 to 5 days. I could probably close business within a 15 to 30 day time period. I could get paid in 30 to 60 days. Depends on the case, but obviously it can be very fast. Organic marketing, it can take a year investing time. It can take a year and a half. It depends on what you're specifically doing. So it takes longer, right? However, here's the dilemma. Most of us have to continue to cover expenses in the short term. So we get this question often. How do I build a business that can help me get off the hamster wheel while I'm kind of addicted to this expensive marketing that I can't get off. So the way you do that is not by cutting cold turkey, right? We don't want to just quit cold turkey. We might get the shakes. We need a little bit of this paid marketing. So the way we encourage people to think about it is right now, look at your business and how much of your business is coming from paid sources, how much is coming from organic sources. Usually, by far the majority of people's businesses is coming from paid, right? So maybe it's 110, or maybe it's, 100-0, maybe it's 90-10, maybe it's 80-20. So what we want to do is slowly cut out more of the time of our average week. For example, every Tuesday and Thursday, for 1 hour each day, you start spending more time focused on organic marketing. And eventually, as the organic marketing starts to generate fruit, we slowly transition this, obviously, more and more. So ultimately, you might be 50-50, where you're analyzing your revenue, you're analyzing your new clients, and you say, hey, not bad. 50% of my clients came from sources that I did not pay for. And eventually, the ideal scenario is obviously we reverse this, where we have 0 coming from paid and 100 coming from organic. I can tell you, when we first started getting out of the production business and moving more towards the training, we were 100% Facebook ads, Instagram ads, perhaps you've seen them before, generating a lot of strategy sessions, but paying a lot of money for that. And over time, we are investing in YouTube channel, in podcasts, in articles, in speaking at national events. So over time, our new clients will look like, maybe 5% from paid on Facebook and maybe 95% from organic channels. And we do it much the same way that we described to you. We just carve out a little bit of time each day to start investing into the organic efforts, recognizing that it will take a little longer. But let me ask you this: where is it going to be in 5 years? The time's going to pass one way or the other. Do you still want to be doing dinner seminars, buying cold leads in 5 years from now, and 10 years from now? Because if you don't start cutting off a little bit of that time and investing it here, it's exactly where you're going to be. So most advisors will tell us, no, I did that to kind of jumpstart my production. I don't want to be doing that in 5 years from now. I don't want to be doing that in 10 years from now. The time's going to pass either way. So over a period of time, start carving out more, investing it into yourself with organic efforts. So ultimately what we are doing is actually building a business, right? The organic marketing helps us actually build something that we control. And I'm sure you've had this happen to you as an advisor. If you're getting 100% of your business from buying cold leads, something changes with that lead marketing company and all of a sudden their expenses go up, you're in trouble. Something happens where all of a sudden their lead supply dries down. You're in trouble. You don't want to leave these very important variables in your practice up to another company. So over time, what we do is we build up a funnel to generate more organic growth, and we control those variables. All right, so again, in summary, key things that we've observed top advisors do. First of all, they're not competing on fees, on price, on products, on service. They are not a commodity. They've established a unique value proposition, and they explain their value to their ideal client through a process. Second is they have a niche, whether that's based on their interests, that's based on strategic partnerships. They have a niche, and they can explain their unique value proposition to their niche in a very effective manner. And then third, they've ended the addiction to the expensive marketing. They've built up organic marketing. Maybe they still participate in some paid marketing, but it's optional at that point. So hopefully these top 3 keys that top advisors are using has been helpful. If you like this video, go ahead and like it, please, below. Make a comment as well. We would love to know, do you have a niche? If so, describe that to us. And overall, what did you think of this video? We produce these every Friday. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We look forward to seeing you next time. I'm Anton Anderson. Bye for today.